Welcome to Daily Book Insight. Today, we're talking about a skill that, and I'm not kidding, is a genuine superpower in our crazy modern world. The power to not react. You know how it is, right? We live in a world that is constantly poking at us, trying to get a reaction. An insult, a snarky comment, some frustrating situation, they're all trying to pull your strings. But what if you could take back every bit of that power? Well, that's exactly what we're going to break down.
Okay, let's just start with this core idea right here, because it really says it all. The moment you react, you give away your power. The moment you pause, you take it back. Think about that. Every single time you have that knee-jerk emotional reaction, you are literally handing over your peace of mind, your energy, your control to someone or something else. But that tiny little space, that moment you just pause before you speak or act, that's where you snatch it all back. That is the birthplace of real power.
So this brings us to what I like to call the reaction trap. And it really is a trap. It's this almost invisible cycle we all get caught in, where we feel like we have to respond to every little thing that gets thrown at us. But as we're about to see, it's a trap that costs us way more than we think.
I love this metaphor because it's so simple and so true. Are you a puppet or are you a master? Seriously, think about it. When someone's casual comment can just totally ruin your day, or a little bit of criticism sends you into a tailspin, well, you're basically a puppet. Your emotional strings are just out there for anyone to pull. But a master? A master gets it. They understand this profound truth. They can't control what happens out there in the world, but they have absolute total authority over what happens in here. They refuse to be controlled.
And this is a perfect example of just how high the cost can be. Picture this guy, a young man in an office. He's smart, he's dedicated, he spent years building up this amazing reputation. But one day, he's in this super important meeting and his boss just unfairly rips into his work in front of everybody. And in that one moment, he just snapped. He argued back, his voice got loud, he let all that frustration boil over. And you know what happened? Nobody saw him as being right. They saw him as unstable, emotional. That one single reaction completely torpedoed years of hard work. He lost the whole war because he couldn't control himself in that one single battle.
Now that story probably feels familiar, right? We've all felt that surge of heat, that feeling of being totally hijacked by our own emotions. And if you've ever beaten yourself up for it, wondering, why is this so automatic? Why can't I control it? Just stop. It is not a character flaw, it's a feature of your biology. So let's pop the hood and take a look at your brain's ancient alarm system. So what we're talking about here is something called an amygdala hijack. Your amygdala is this tiny, ancient part of your brain that basically evolved for one job: keep you alive. It's the alarm that would scream danger when our ancestors saw a saber-toothed tiger, kicking off that immediate fight-or-flight response. Here's the problem, though. That same alarm system, it can't tell the difference between a real tiger and a nasty email from your boss. It treats a modern social threat with the exact same life-or-death urgency.
So what does this hijack actually feel like from the inside? Well, it's a total system override. First thing that happens, your prefrontal cortex, the smart, rational CEO of your brain, gets shoved right out of the room. So clear, logical thinking, yeah, that's gone. Next, your body gets flooded with stress hormones like adrenaline and cortisol. Your heart starts pounding, your muscles tense up. You're basically ready for a physical fight that is never going to happen. And get this. This part is truly wild. You literally become less intelligent in that moment. Your IQ actually drops. And the worst part? Every single time you let that hijack win, you're paving a superhighway in your brain for that same reaction to happen even faster next time. You're not just losing the battle, you are actively training your brain to lose the war.
Okay, so that's the problem. Our own biology can feel like an enemy from within. But there is a powerful, elegant solution. And it's not about fighting your brain, it's about outsmarting it by creating a little bit of space. This brings us to the power of the pause.
You really need to let this one sink in. In a world that is obsessed with constant noise and having a quick comeback for everything, silence is a superpower. Choosing not to react, choosing to just be silent for a moment, that's not weakness. It is not passive. It's an active, strategic choice that communicates incredible strength, confidence, and wisdom. And you don't have to say a single word. It shows everyone in the room that you and only you are in control of your state.
And this is the big shift we're aiming for. Just look at the difference here. A reaction is automatic, it's emotional, it's uncontrolled, and ultimately, it's weak. It's just an old, outdated instinct firing off. But a response is deliberate, it's calm. It is a conscious choice made by the most evolved part of your brain. And that is where real power is. So the goal isn't to become some emotionless robot. It's to stop reacting and to start responding.
Okay, so how do we actually do it? How do we build this muscle of responding, especially when we're feeling totally triggered? Well, it's simpler than you might think. Let's walk through a simple, actionable toolkit that you can use literally the second you feel that emotional heat start to rise.
All right, let's break this down. It's a simple 3-step process. Step 1, the instant you feel that trigger, that heat in your chest, that knot in your stomach, you physically stop. If you're typing an angry email, take your hands off the keyboard. If you're about to say something, close your mouth, and then take one single, deep breath. This is your circuit breaker. Step 2, observe. Simply label the emotion. Okay, that's anger. Or, wow, I am feeling really disrespected right now. Just naming it creates distance and starts to bring your rational brain back online. And finally, step 3, choose. Ask yourself this game-changing question. What response aligns with my long-term goals and my values? Not what feels good right now, but what serves the person I actually want to be. This is how you create that all-important space between the stimulus and your response.
Now, when you start practicing that 3-step plan, stop, observe, choose, something pretty incredible starts to happen. You're not just avoiding angry outbursts anymore. You are fundamentally changing the rules of the game. You begin to realize that true strength isn't about winning every argument. It's about winning without even having to fight.
And this story is just the perfect example. Picture a crowded train car. A drunk, angry man gets on, and he's shouting, he's pushing people, the whole car just gets tense, right? People are yelling back at him, or they're trying to move away in fear. But there's this one old man who stays completely still. He's calm, he's unshaken. The angry man storms right up to him, ready for a fight. And the old man just looks him in the eyes and says, calmly, "Whatever happened to you today, I'm so sorry it brought you to this place." And in that one moment, all the air goes out of the situation. The man's anger just vanished. He stopped, and then he just sat down and started to weep. One calm response completely disarmed all of that rage. The old man didn't have to fight, he won.
So here's the bottom line, the most important point of all. You can't control the traffic. You can't control what other people say or do. You absolutely cannot control the chaos of the world outside of you. But the amount of control you can have over your own inner peace, that is 100%. By choosing not to react, you become the sole authority of your internal world. Nothing and no one can touch you, unless you give them permission.
And the benefits of mastering this skill, they aren't just little tweaks. We're talking about life-altering upgrades. Look at this. We're talking about an unshakable inner calm, the kind that lets you just walk through chaos completely unfazed. Your relationships transform because you're no longer a puppet to other people's moods. You become this stable, reliable presence. Your decision-making in your career or your life becomes elite because you're operating from a place of clarity, not panicked emotion. You get to reclaim all that energy you used to waste on pointless drama and focus it on what actually matters. And maybe most importantly, you earn this quiet, powerful respect, an influence that loud, reactive people can only dream of.
So as we start to wrap this up, I want to leave you with this one question to really think about. You have a finite amount of emotional energy every single day. It is your most precious resource. So, which battles are actually worth your energy? Not every argument needs you to show up. Not every insult deserves a response. True wisdom isn't about winning every fight. It's about knowing which fights aren't worth fighting at all. So the core message today is that real power isn't loud, it's not reactive. It's that quiet, steady strength that comes from mastering your own emotional world. It's the freedom of knowing that no one can disturb your peace unless you give them the key. True power lies not in reacting, but in responding with wisdom, with calm, and with intention. If you found this valuable, please like, subscribe, and share it with family and friends who want to upgrade their life. Thanks for watching.